Well, hello there. My name is John Meyer. Tomorrow ends the promotional period for the Meyer Felt. It's been 3 weeks. It's normally going to be $40. It's only $30. It ends tomorrow. And I've been thinking back on the past 3 weeks and all the stuff that I've learned along the way. And I thought it would be a good time as any to share some of the things that I learned, because I know that many of you want to sell things online or have ideas to do that. I didn't know anything about this process. And so I set out to do it. And it was challenging, to say the least. Step one was figuring out a website. Where was I going to host it? I've been using Squarespace since, I think, the first day of Squarespace for a long time. I don't know if it's the best website maker in the world, but I know it, and I've built a dozen websites with it. And so I wanted Squarespace to be the main place where I put everything. Unfortunately, Squarespace only allows downloads of 300 gigabytes or less, and this piano is well over 2 gigs. So I had to find better option. I knew there were places to host these instruments, contact instruments, and to distribute them, but I thought that I wanted to keep it in my own thing. And so I went searching. I found a site called Sells, which actually, if you go sign up for Sells now, it says we're not taking any more new people. And I believe it was bought by Amazon, so maybe it will improve or become evil. The basic plan for Sells costs $30 a month, and there's unlimited file sizes. So I put everything up there, and the idea was just to deliver a zip file to you when you purchase. And I did that, and it worked quite well. After talking with a fellow developer, which I guess I'm a developer now too, who knew I call myself a developer, I decided it made more sense for me to not use Sells, but to use a dedicated host, and I chose Pulse Downloader. I know I've used Pulse in the past, and many of you have as well. Seems like most people have had a good experience, and so far it's been a good experience for me. Many of you bought the instrument before I shifted over, so eventually I will get around to sending you the redemption keys. And it doesn't do you any good right now. You've got the instrument, it works, but I need a way to connect with you for future updates and make that as easy as possible, and that way you can go back and retrieve your information and all that stuff from Pulse. But now that I've settled everything back into Squarespace, I have a list of things that I want to do to improve the site, and have so much to learn on how to add more functionality to the site. But it works, and it can get you from point A to point B. It is expensive. I had to upgrade to the Commerce plan, which is basically like $480 a year to allow for all the functionality. So that's a lot of money. I'm finding there's quite a few of these costs that come up that you kind of have to be serious about what you're doing. It's hard, even though I'm very much dipping my toes into this world of creating a sample company. There are so many costs that are there no matter how many you plan on selling. And so I'm finding myself kind of in that place where I got to make some decisions on how serious I want to be about this, because otherwise I'm throwing money away. The cool thing about Squarespace is that it's got all kinds of analytics, and now that I'm in the Commerce plan, there's so much to learn. And one of the things I've found, and I've shared with this in previous videos, is that only 25% of the people that purchase and even visit my website are from the United States. And I think that's remarkable. All right, let's talk about email. I've heard the marketing gurus say for years that email is king. Social media platforms come and go, but if you've got your email list, you have a way to stay in contact. One thing that I've done over the years is I have asked you to give me an email address in exchange for the free downloads. And that's been a success beyond anything I could have ever imagined. I have about 15,000 emails that I've collected over the past few years, and that's a lot. Now, regrettably, I haven't sent all that many emails. I'm just not good about it. I don't like blowing up people's email. I know you don't want your email blown up, but through this process of actually having something to sell, I've realized that sending these emails is very profitable. I get sales every time I send out an email, even the one that happened 4 or 5 days ago, just saying that the sale was coming to an end in 4 or 5 days. So there is value. I mean, I sent it to 10,000 people and like 10 people bought it, but that's still pretty great. And that's money that I did not have before I sent the email. Another cost I never expected was having an email list. I use MailChimp to keep all my emails. And if I were to send the emails through MailChimp, it would cost like $200 a month for the size email list that I have. And so I use a site called SendFox, which is super bare bones. And honestly, I don't even know how much I've paid for it, because every time I get a certain amount of subscribers, it charges me a certain amount of money. I know it's less than MailChimp would have cost, and it just kind of nickels and dimes you. But I'm almost to the point to where I'm at the $18 a month plan, which I'll probably go with that. I'm also considering switching over to Squarespace email, which is $24 a month. And these are things that I would not be willing to do if I wasn't making any money. But since now there is some money coming in from the sales, I'm considering some of these to make sure that I'm doing my best job of communicating all that I've got going on. I know I'm leaving a lot out, but the last thing I want to talk about is Facebook ads. Now, I hate Facebook with a passion, and I don't want anything to do with Facebook, but I have a good friend who's really into Facebook ads, and he's been teaching me a lot, and I have watched video after video after video on how to connect with my audience, and it's all a little creepy and weird to me, I admit, but I'm trying to do my best to do that. So I thought I'd share a few stats with you. Let me look on my page here. I wasted about $100 in the beginning when I didn't understand where I was putting the money or how to track if people were purchasing. But now that I've kind of figured out how that works, I have spent $129 and I've made $270 or 9 sales. Now that's gross. There's a lot of cost involved, and I don't think that's even that great of a number in marketing terms, but to me early on it seems like somewhat of a success, and I think that I'll probably continue to put some money in that. I imagine some of you click on an ad and then buy it, and you would have bought it either way, but it's still interesting, and if it puts what I'm doing in front of more people and I see a return from it, then I think it's probably something I should consider. I've tried to be as open and honest as I can about all the stuff that I do, music related, but I'm never gonna have the channel that is, this is how much money I've made selling samples in the month, that's just not where I want to go. But since you're still here, and since I brought you along on this journey, I thought I will share a few things with you. As of June 3rd, 8:03 p.m. Central Standard Time, in 3 weeks, I have sold 162 of the pianos. And that blows me away. Now, I didn't know what to expect. My friends asked me, how many do you think you'll sell? And the number 100 came to mind a lot. I thought maybe if I could get to there, that would be great. And 162, and hopefully still some tomorrow. And then the cool thing about these things is they stay up forever. Maybe Hans Zimmer will pick it up and tweet about it, and I'll sell 1 million of these things. And I know that many of you bought it without even hearing it, because maybe for the past year you've enjoyed what I'm doing and you wanted to support me. And I don't care why you bought it. If that's why you did it, then I'm grateful for it, because to me all of this works together. I make sounds, I make music, I like making videos. I don't see them as 3 individual parts of my life. I see them as one part of my life. And so I want to keep trying to do the best I can. When Chris, my son, is back looking at me. Okay, is that? All right, tooth? My son lost a tooth. Good job, buddy. I don't have $1. And I hope that something that I said today inspires you to get started creating something of your own and putting yourself out there, maybe selling something. Maybe it's selling samples. Maybe all the stuff I said today is I don't want any part of that. But to me, it's fun. And, if there's one thing a skill that I've kind of honed over the years is that I've learned how to make a decision and then go with it and then correct it if I have to. Sometimes it's the right decision. A lot of times it's not. But making that decision, not getting paralyzed by it, and moving on. And then what I've also found is that really kind people reach out and say, hey, John, you might want to consider doing it this way. And I'm fine with it. Keep doing that, and I'll keep doing it to you. And that's all I got for tonight. If you haven't got the piano, I'd love for you to pick it up. I've got more coming, and I just appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.